Hey guys, Scott here. Today I want to talk about the tweet that Ots made about saying that Coup de Grâce might not be a healthy perk. I wanted to talk about this when he originally posted it like 3 or 4 days ago, but we had the mid-chapter and there were more pressing things to talk about. Now we're at a bit of a lull again, so I did want to actually respond to this. As he mentioned, he would love to hear our thoughts on this. So, first of all, when I read this, I thought Ots was malfunctioning. Is Coup de Grâce a healthy perk? Yeah, it's fine. There's no world in which I would consider Coup de Grâce to be a problematic perk. Comparing it to something like Made for This is, it's not even remotely on the same level. So I wanted to see what he was talking about exactly. And it seems to be a couple of things. One, that you should never really have things that modify base speeds of killers and things like that. And the other part is that it sucks getting punished for something you didn't even know that was in play to begin with. And I definitely understand those points to it. To the whole movement speed comparison, I do very much agree that the entire game is built around certain movement speeds. And as soon as you introduce something like Made for This, for example, it throws everything completely out of whack. Every loop in the game is genuinely based on the speed differential between killer and survivor, which is why there are very few things that modify movement speed in the game. They're usually tied to killer powers themselves or things like that. Perks very, very rarely do it. They do exist, but they're very, very rare and usually very situational, unlike Made for This, which is why that perk is such a problem. But I digress. So the whole main discussion is Coup de Grâce an unhealthy perk? I don't understand where the... I legit don't even know where to even like start with that. I have no idea how Coup de Grâce could not be seen as a healthy perk. It has requirements. You can know when it's happening. So I think here's the main difference. If I had to summarize why Coup is fine and Made for This is not, for example, when somebody has Made for This, you can know that they have Made for This. You can see them heal somebody, get the endurance. You can know for a fact that they have the perk. But you can't do anything to change that. You can see that they have it and you go, oh shit, that sucks. My chases are going to be harder now. And that's it. That's the only option you have as killer, is just go, well, fuck, that sucks. With Coup de Grâce, as soon as you see it one time, the worst thing that happens from that is you get hit once. If we look at it in a very black and white state, you can get hit 6 times in a match. I know it's not really like that, but you basically have 6 chances to get hit before you're dead on Death Hook. And just getting hit by Coup de Grâce once to see that it's in play, it's okay. It's not a very big deal. It doesn't mean you just drop dead or anything like that. It's not even a comparable thing to Made for This at all. They're completely separate things. Also, Coup de Grâce doesn't actually affect your movement speed at all. It increases the duration of your lunge, so checkmate atheists. But also, it's not really something that changes the core movement speeds of the game. Now, you could make the argument that it changes the way tiles are played, because normally a survivor might have been able to get that additional loop, but because of Coup de Grâce, now they can't quite make that pallet or that window, and now they do get hit. So it does change the, the core speed differential in that way, because they can get a hit sooner than they thought they'd be able to. But again, once you see it, you know that they have it, and you don't just drop dead immediately. It's okay, now I know he has Coup. I know he has at least 1 stack because the generator just popped. Now I can count. Every time a generator pops, I have to assume he has it. I'm going to drop the pallet earlier. As a survivor, when you see that Coup de Grâce or Spirit Fury Enduring, which gives you a hit earlier in sort of the same manner as a surprise factor, once you see those perks are in play, you get hit one time, and now you know, and you won't make the mistake again. You're not going to greed the loop another time when you know that there's Coup involved. You're going to pre-drop the pallet when you know Spirit Fury Enduring is involved. There are things you can do to counter it once you know it's involved, and it's not that bad to find out. You just get hit once. Not a big deal. With Made for This, you find out, and you just can't do anything. You just, okay, they're just faster now. What, am I going to not injure them? That's how I counter it? That's a 5-head decision. There's nothing the killer can do to change that other than retroactively have exhaustion perks or add-ons, I guess. But it's not something you can adapt to in the match, whereas all those other perks, like, Spirit Fear Enduring and Coup and stuff like that, you can adapt during the match and there's no problem. So that's the main difference. Coup is completely fine because once you see it, you can react to it and change your plans accordingly. Once you see Made for This in play, you can't do anything. They're just faster, the end. And that's why I think this is a very silly discussion. Coup is fine.